Hello, everybody. We're about to kick off. We're sorry about the late start on our end. We were just trying to get our guest speaker on. So he's going to join us within a few minutes, but I'm going to kick off with the intro and then we can get started. My name is Wendy Akomolafe Kalu. I lead the storytelling team at Flutterwave. Essentially, what we do is we tell Flutterwave stories through events, through webinars like this, PR, press, everything. So we really wanted people to, the pandemic has been affecting a lot of businesses, especially small, medium businesses. And as a business, you probably have no idea where to begin with selling online as a result of the pandemic. A lot of countries have gone into lockdown. Businesses have had to move from a physical brick and mortar store to like an online store where they're selling and they're able to do deliveries and stuff. And so it's been a bit tough for people, and we wanted a platform where people can come to get the information they need to get started. How do you create an e-commerce or an e-commerce platform? You don't have any knowledge about selling, you don't have any tech experience, you don't have a tech background. And then so how do you create an e-commerce store? What do you do with payments and integrations? And then what do you do with deliveries as well? So that's why we're doing this. We want people to be empowered with the information that they need. And you'll also be hearing from Dickson Mushabe, who already is a business that has kind of adapted to the pandemic. You'd also be able to ask questions. Hosting this will be Neil Sango. He is Business Development Lead and Country Director for Flutterwave in Uganda. So we're going to go into, Neil is going to start and kick off. And then what we're going to do is, after Neil is done, we'll be able to ask questions, we'll be able to answer your questions, give you information on how to get started. And if you miss anything, we are sending this recording. This is being recorded. So we will send this via email to you guys so that you have access to this information. And yeah, so hi Neil, are you ready now?
Ready and live. I don't know if you can hear me. You can hear me, just say hi in the comments or give me a thumbs up. I don't know. Wendy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you. We're good to go. So I'm going to pass you guys on to Neil now. And yeah.
Hi, guys. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us. It's an honor and a privilege. Like Wendy said, my name is Neil, and I'm just honored to lead the business in Uganda, Flutterwave. I'm going to just, really quickly, like she said, it's basically just to let you know what we're doing. To let you know what we've learned from what we're doing, and to just have a conversation with Dixon, who I know is online right now, and it's going to be that kind of chat, So I've been with Flutterwave for 2 years. It's my second year, and I really joined because of the vision that is Flutterwave. But just before I go into giving you that brief, I'm gonna just check in with Dixon. Dixon, can you hear me, Dixon?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Neil, how are you?
I'm very well. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to join us.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm going to just really briefly tell, the guys who are watching today about Flutterwave. Flutterwave, if I can just really briefly share my screen in a moment, just give you this brief intro before I ask this on some questions. Awesome. Yeah, so, just briefly about Flutterwave before I bring Dixon on board. Flutterwave, we're a payments technology company that was founded in 2016. And the vision was that looking at the African landscape, we realized that the payments space was fragmented. And what do I mean fragmented? Every country where you go in Africa, people know how to pay using their own familiar payment methods. You come to Uganda, we're using our mobile money, Airtel money. You go to Kenya, it's M-Pesa. You go to South Africa, it's SnapScan, it's different payment methods. You go to West Africa, you go to Nigeria today, people are using their bank accounts, even via USSD to make a payment. And so the vision behind what we created was, how can we be that one platform that brings all the payments together, And to date, we've gone to several African countries, close to now 15. And I know some of the cities are there on my slide. We're, of course, in Kampala, we're in Lagos, Accra, Kigali, Nairobi, Johannesburg, San Francisco, we're in London. And we're looking to be that one company that brings every payment option into one place, especially for the African market. And this just came from my experience, just seeing what's happening across board. And because of what we're doing, we have sort of been already ahead of this pandemic. We're just one of those businesses that's already been thinking of how can we be those how can we be the people that drive online, e-commerce as it is. How can we be those guys who drive this new way of doing business? And today, we've been, of course, backed and supported by several international firms. And this just goes to show that what we're doing is actually a big thing, right? What we're doing is not only in heads, it's a big problem. And Visa, MasterCard, Greycroft, Greenvisor Capital, WorldPay, Y Combinator, these have all come on board to support us in what we're doing. And with that brief introduction, and to just quickly, cross over to Dixon, and just understand, because I know Dixon has been in this space even longer than Flutterwave. So Dixon, just coming to you, just for the guys who are watching today who have never even heard of you, maybe, I don't know if they're there in Uganda, but maybe they're there. Who is Dixon and what are you doing today?
All right. Thank you so much, Neil. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're listening from. I hope you can hear me properly.
Yes.
Dickson Mushabe is my name. A business hustler who started way back university days. Did business, has made mistakes. Along the way, learned from mistakes and continued. Now, started a company, an IT company called Hostelite about 10 years ago. It's a web and software development company. Left the company, exited the company, to managed by different people, empowering them to manage it, the managers. Moving to start now, Cinnamon, as you can see, Cinnamon Clubs. Cinnamon Clubs is it's a platform that automates activities and financial records of savings groups. Call them investment clubs. They are known as they are known in Uganda. Then I went on to start another one called Dolphin Fund. I think we shall talk about that later. But for now, that's me, a businessman, a family man, a hustler, the guy who has seen made most of the mistakes, but still thriving. Thank you.
Awesome. 10 years. Wow, that's some good time. Really, because of what we're discussing today, I want to hear from you. What are the things that, how have you adjusted in this season of COVID-19? What are the things that you are doing that maybe someone watching out there, can just learn from you, want to hear from you? What are you doing in this season?
Thank you so much. The day they announced the lockdown, or the day COVID started, and I knew things are definitely going to change, and indeed they've changed. The first thing I had to do personally was to look into my mindset, basically change my mindset, and realize that actually I will not be going back to office any soon. That means I'll be working from home. That means I won't be having meetings I've been having with clients. I won't be presenting to clients that I've been going to present to. Like I mentioned, Cinnamon, it's a platform for managing investment clubs. Investment clubs and saving groups meet and we go and present to them. So I knew it's not going to be possible for us to go and present to them. So what did I have to do? I first had to cleanse my mind of the old and knew that I must embrace the new normal, actually, which I don't call the new normal, I call it the now normal, because it's slowly being the now normal. And I knew that I must stay alive. My clients must stay alive. How? Right, this is not the best time to suspend a client who are doing a web hosting. It's not the time to suspend an investment club which has not paid their subscription fee, because you need them after the lockdown. So I knew and I was clear that if I survive with my clients during these hard times, they will never ever leave me. So I basically I'm looking at how do I survive, how do my clients survive, so that we meet better after this pandemic. So I had to, we've set up we've started calling clients, and you know the phone calls you're making now is not have you seen our invoice? No. The phone calls you're making to our clients is, how are you? Are you alive? Are you safe? Did you hear what the president said? Are you sanitizing? You know, can you make sure you also practice whatever it is being said? So that the last thing they are supposed to hear from you is demanding money right now. All this, how can we help you? In case, do you need any help from us? Do you want us to renew so that you can pay 3 months later? You know, it's the only time I should be seen to be giving. It's the only time a business should be seen to be giving, and those clients definitely will never ever leave you, because you are with them when they were at their lowest. And of course, one more thing. When I realized that I'm going to be working from home, we had to, of course, brief our staff. We had to have staff meetings and change their mindset, because it's possible for the boss of the company or the MD to embrace the new normal when their employees are not embracing the new normal. So you won't make any difference. So I had to make sure the employees of Hostelite, Cinnamon clubs, they all understood that it's okay. We are going to work from home, but there are better ways and better tools we can use to make sure our services do not go down. Make sure our clients don't feel the hitch of the COVID in terms of our services. So our clients should feel that we've given them the best during this season. And at least we've not lost a single client, not suspended a single client. And instead, because we're good, I think we're even gaining more clients now. You know what goes around. Because when you suspend a client and his friend has not been suspended, they ask him, how are you surviving? So no, my client, my provider actually told me to wait, not to pay him. I'll pay him after 3 months. So you'll get a client who thinks you're fair. Then moving to accepting payments online. I'll give you an example of Cinnamon clubs. These are investment clubs who have been paying or collecting their monies. A member goes to the bank, pays, and informs the treasurer that we have actually paid. Update my Cinnamon. But you see now, no one is going to the bank. They are home. So how do you make sure the club activities continue running when they're not going to the bank? That means you have to employ, or you have to deploy the likes of payment integrators like Flutterwave. And I want to thank you guys. You've made our life so easy. You made our life so easy. Flutterwave, you made our life so easy. That an investment club does not really have to move an inch to make a contribution to their club from their phone, and yes, from their phone they can make their contributions. Going back to the topic of the online, you know, I like to demystify the fears. There are very many fears of online, and especially the older generation. They think the online, they think the social media is for the youth. But let me give you an example. You might be in your 60s, but you're selling baby clothes, and your clientele are the people in their 30s, in their 20s, who are on social media. So how will you attract them? Definitely, you'll have to join social media. To that you can tap into the number of clientele who you are servicing. Going online is me. Or selling online, I like to see it as an advantage, and I like everyone to embrace as an advantage because it saves you from very many things. One, you don't have to worry about parking space for your customers. That's a huge advantage. You don't have to worry about how neatly looking your shop is, or how arranged your shop is. No, you actually have to worry about only the delivery, the packaging, and the receipt of funds. Now, the receipt of funds there are things you should not even worry. You shouldn't take your mind or your brain to think about or crack you that. No, there are people who have mastered the game. So don't try to figure out what Flutterwave is doing. As long in the background, as long as they make you receive, as long as they enable your payment to go through and you receive your payment, that is also. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. The integrators who are already there working and can make payment seamless and easy. So now you concentrate on developing your product. You concentrate on you concentrate on even delivery channels. You don't even have to concentrate on delivery channels. No, there are people who are doing delivery right now. So it has summed down your worries to only your product and how you can package it and how you can price it and then leave the rest the guys who can do it better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much. You've literally taken half of my presentation and spoken about it. I want to just ask you one last thing before I go on to just make a brief, talk about just going online and not have to think about going online. I know that you have a new product that you literally in this time of the lockdown. I think it came to you. And to hear briefly about what is Dolphin Fund. How did it come to you, and how can guys be a part of what you're doing? Just briefly.
Okay. The day they announced the lockdown. Oh, by the way, I'm not a doctor. By the way, the day they announced the lockdown, I knew that automatically some people were unprepared. Even the biggest savers, the biggest financial planners, no one was prepared for this. So if those were hit, then it means those who didn't plan were actually worse off. So I automatically knew that there's going to be financial strain along the way. Few weeks down the road, will be financial strain from individuals to companies to NGOs. So I figured out that there must be a way of helping people who are in financial stress get financial help or any kind of contribution from their friends. So what did I do? I decided to develop a new simplified way of fundraising, and it's called Dolphin Fund. www.dolphinfund.org. It's a platform where you go and set your campaign, upload your photo, basically stage your campaign and start crowdfunding. Then you share your link and you get friends to friends to contribute to you. Some are doing well, others are not doing well. So those who are willing to contribute to others, then you're able to receive donations from different people onto their platform. And of course, like I mentioned to you, we did not have to worry about collections. No, in just 1 minute, in just a few hours, was set up on Flutterwave, and the payments, the collections are done by Flutterwave. I was just a platform. So that's the beauty that's the beauty of having guys do what they do best, and you also do what you do best. So in a nutshell, Dolphin Fund, it's a fundraising platform for people for any cause, anytime, anywhere. It accepts mobile money, and it accepts, of course, credit cards. Right now, it's operational in Uganda, but of course, we hope in the coming months shall be in all countries where Flutterwave is. That's a bit of partnership. So if you have any fundraising need, if you have any cause that you like to raise money for, go to Dolphin Fund, go to dolphinfund.org, and you will automatically state your campaign and start receiving donations from your friends. And maybe to add, in just 3 days, we have over 20 campaigns running, and we've raised over, I think, about 2.3 million Uganda shillings.
Wow, thank you so much. Again, Dixon is here, with us till the end for the questions. If you have any questions for Dixon, just put them in the comments. He's going to be looking at those, and I'll ask him to come back to answer, after my brief presentation. But right now, to just go back to my presentation and just take you through a little bit just what I think about this whole scenario and how selling online can take you to the next level. 1 second. Right, so really quickly, just a couple of clients here. And this is, sort of like, for me, a proof of concept in terms of, if you're going to work with someone, just find out who is he doing business with, maybe who is his friends, who has believed in him. I told you already, Visa, MasterCard, these are some of our investors. These are maybe the biggest today card schemes in the world. Our clients, as you can see over there, are so many. But the biggest, of course, we have Uber, Facebook, Booking.com. In Uganda, we have a couple of clients as well, including several insurance companies, Welfare Ministries, big clients today doing maybe big volumes of transactions. But the key thing here is that, this is as much as it is for the big client and as well for the small client. So, we're here, of course, on this webinar because of this situation, right? We find ourselves today in a world where everyone is thinking, look, how can we live? How can we survive in this time of COVID-19? And more so a business owner, and this is passionate for me because, again, as a business owner, as a founder, and now as the country lead of Flutterwave, I've always had to ask myself these questions. How do I survive? Whether it's COVID-19 or not, how do I survive? And this situation has led many people to have to close their businesses, to downsize. We're glad that Dixon actually is seeing an increase in his clientele, but it's because of his nature of business. I think he had already begun to adapt. But, I'm just here to just talk to the person who has not yet adapted or is in that process of how do I adapt to go online? Because, this is the way. And, really briefly, I'll just tell you a couple of things, 5 things before I tell you, what we're offering here at Flutterwave. So going online is really tied around some key elements, and you have to understand that the online audience is, yes, the same audience, but they have different expectations when they're online. So the first thing I would say in terms of advice is you have to think and decide, how do you want to enter the market online, right? I think, many of you here have seen how the religious, the religious institutions, the churches and the mosques and what have come online. Many of them in the beginning just thought that you just replicate what you're doing offline to online, and it backfired. It failed terribly. You have to create an experience for your customers online, because when they come online, they are used to browsing, to experiencing it in a different way completely. It's not the same as the in-house experience. The second thing is, of course, payments. All of us, if not most of us, do business to get some sort of payment. What this means is that you must find a way for people to transact in a way that's simple, that's short, that's secure, and that's robust. Today, of course, I share this without any shame. Is Flutterwave, because of our experience, because of our coverage. You sign up today as a merchant in Uganda, And once you're signed up, which would take less than 24 hours, you can collect payments across all the countries where we are. So today, if I sign up today, the 19th, I can collect payments in Uganda shillings, mobile money, in Kenya shillings, M-Pesa, South Africa, in Nigeria, in Rwanda, in Tanzania, in the US, in Great Britain. And this is something that has, in the past been a headache. And that is the second key thing of going online. You must be able to know how to collect the money. And again, Flutterwave is unchallenged, unparalleled in that space. Third thing is logistics. If you're providing a service, this may be easier, but if you're giving a product, you have to be able to figure out how the product is going to get to the customer, right? And so, the big thing to think about is, do you want to deliver this on your own, or do you want to have someone else do this for you? And like Dixon said, many times what prevents people from actually going online is when they think of doing these things themselves, right? And so what I want to encourage you to do is just think about who can you partner with, for example, for payments, who can you partner with on the logistics side to make sure that they can be able to get your product as quickly as possible, as securely as possible, and in perfect condition for your customer. The other thing I would advise you to do is go social. And I can't emphasize this enough, especially with this situation. We have seen a spike in just how customers are embracing the social space, right? We have seen even older age groups go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if guys on here know about TikTok, but there's also TikTok. And the big thing here is, again, as you go online, as you go on social media especially, think about as well how you want to present yourself. And many guys, have a hard time converting on social because of just, a couple of things that can just change the way your page is appearing, your product is appearing. And I want to give you just some quick 3 tips. The first thing I can say is make your post catchy, right? I'll give you an example here, which you can see on my slide, a toilet paper. So for example, if you're selling toilet paper, for example, if you're scrolling your page, just imagine you as the consumer scrolling your page and seeing someone selling toilet paper, you'll quickly scroll by, right? Why? Because chances are that you already have tissue in your house. But imagine if you changed your post a little bit to sell maybe the aspect of the toilet paper that maybe you have the softest, smoothest, it's the most it's the most amazing tissue you've ever come across. If your post was saying something like maybe this toilet paper makes you feel as though you're sitting on the clouds, someone would be intrigued to check out that post, because it's not the norm. They'll be like, oh, wait, which kind of toilet paper is this? So just find a way to make your post a little bit catchy. And then, of course, photography. Human beings rely a lot on what they see. We're very, very visual. And so you have to make sure you take very nice photos. And the third thing is just give some detail. If you just put a photo there of a bottle of juice and put the price, people will not know why they would consider to buy your juice. So beyond the catchy title, beyond the nice photo, just give some detail. How much sugar is in it? Where is the juice from? In the description, human beings want to know more in terms of this is how they've been dealing with the physical shops. You go in there, ask for juice, sometimes ask where it's made, if it's good for you. And so engage people on your social. And of course, when it comes to, again, the time to close on social, again, make it simple. If you have a payment link, if you have a logistics link, just quickly drop it there so that guys can have that call to action. And the key thing, the final thing is that what social brings us, social helps you to analyze your performance. This has not been possible before online, right? This is the power which I see e-commerce is having beyond just the physical store, is you are able to in real time track how your business is performing and make the change you need to make. And so these are the 5 key things that I believe if you have these at the back of your minds, whichever partners you choose, you're able to make that milestone and you're able to just, go faster than everyone else if they're not thinking of these 5 things. But really quickly, coming back to Flutterwave, I'll just tell you a couple of things we're doing. And of course, our newest thing, which I'm announcing today, which we rolled out about a couple of weeks ago, is Flutterwave stores. Again, we have so many, and this is the part of being a startup. We are like, innovation is in our DNA. We create and innovate. And this is what we do. Like, we wake up to just innovate. So, we have, I don't know, some of you here who are clients, you've already seen the events engine where we enable our customers to go online. You can create an event in real time, and, you can distribute tickets and even, keep track of all the attendees in real time and accept payments. We have the invoicing platform where in real time you can send out an invoice that has a pay button, So you can make an invoice in your dashboard, send it out, and someone can click on the pay button and pay you after viewing the invoice in real time. And today, I'll tell you about Flutterwave stores, which is specifically something we thought about in this period. Why? Because, like I told you, the backbone of going online is payments and logistics, right? This is the core backbone. Everything else can be, you can easily do it, but how to get the payments partner and logistics partner has been a headache, especially in this part of the world. And like Dixon said, the key thing is not to try and reinvent those things. But we thought, why don't we go a step further and make this even simpler for our customers? And so a typical scenario is this supermarket, called TMT. And TMT is actually one of the stores in my neighborhood. And when the pandemic struck, what they did was they actually said, guys, because of the pandemic, you guys can't move. You can now place your orders on WhatsApp, right? So the typical flow is, we got a number, we would send our orders in on WhatsApp, and we were able to, just ask for what we wanted to buy. Someone in the store would walk around, pick the product, and then they would be able to reply to us and confirm. And then after that, a bike would come and deliver the items to us, after which we pay mobile money, right? It's simple, right? It sounds easy, it sounds doable, but again, this is a nightmare. It's a nightmare for the customer. Why? Because when I first tried this, there was so much back and forth, right? Whereby I'd ask the guy to get something, he'd pick the wrong product, send me a photo, come back, I confirm, he goes again to the shelf, picks something else, he comes back to me to confirm. After I confirm, he then has to call a border guy by phone, wait for him to arrive, pack for him these things, give him the things. The border guy comes to me, I receive, I check the things to confirm. I then call the store and tell them, look, mobile money number or whatever it is, pay. It was just some tedious process. And so we thought, how can we simplify this? And so this is the better way that I want to tell you today, which is Flutterwave stores. So ideally, Flutterwave stores is an online store that you create with Flutterwave as a merchant. It's available today if you're a merchant of Flutterwave already. Just go to your dashboard, be able to see stores. If you're a new person checking this out, you can just go to flutterwave.com and you click sign up. You're able to make this within the next 5 minutes. What the store allows you to do is it allows you to create an e-commerce. It's an e-commerce template, right? So basically, once you make the store, all you have to do as the owner is to upload your products in the store and set your price. And what we have done as Flutterwave, of course, our core business is payments, right? So that's already not an issue for us. What we have done is we have then partnered with logistics companies, right? So that you as the business owner, once you make the store, you're already linked to a logistics partner, right? So today in Uganda, we have 2 partners we're rolling out this with. We have Pink Tie, who is one of the biggest logistics partners in companies in Uganda today. And we're doing this as well together with Safe Border. So once you do that, once someone comes to your site to buy, you don't even have to think about how the border is going to come to you. Once we have your location, as you sign up as the store owner, once someone buys, the delivery company gets a notification, they come to you, pick the order, and go deliver it. And you don't have to worry about logistics and payments, and this is all in one. And so this enables you to focus on your core business, which is, what do you sell? Is it groceries? Is it masks? You know, now masks are becoming compulsory. If you're qualified to make those masks according to the specification, you can list them on the store. And so what then was TMT's nightmare became this, right? And this is the typical store. So the store essentially, as you can see here on my screen, TMT has a store. I can just come here, choose an item that I want, and TMT has stocked these items, has put these items in their inventory, and all I have to just come as the customer is click on this, on their link. Once it opens, I see this e-commerce store, which is again free of charge, offered by Flutterwave. And after that, I'm going to checkout process. I add all the items to my cart one by one. I fill in my name, my email address, my delivery address, and after that, the delivery company is notified about this order. They'll go to the merchant. Merchant has prepared the order. They come to me, and it's seamless. It's as seamless as you see it here. And all this can be done in 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how much inventory you have. And so, again, at Flutterwave, we accept cards, mobile money, we accept barter, which is our in-house payment. Again, we're in Kenya, Tanzania, we're in Rwanda, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and many other countries, which you can see on our website. So this is the really seamless product, which is Flutterwave stores. Again, you can see this is like the final step where you have to choose payments. Over here, you have your card payment, and this is mobile money. And once you've checked out of here, you're getting a successful payment notification. And I mean, you're good to go. You're good to go. And this is making life easy for our customers. Again, I want to just highlight that this platform is completely free of charge and is ready to go today. So if you're an existing merchant, in your dashboard, you should be able to see the stores. If you are, someone who is just saying, how can I plug in? You can go to flutterwave.com, create your account, and again, in 5 to 10 minutes, you can be live and up with the store. Payments sorted, logistics sorted. So we continue to create and innovate at Flutterwave, and this is just part of the things that we are doing. One thing I believe, though, is that, because of what we do, we have been able to live this way. So this is not new to us. What everyone is calling the new normal, what Dixon is calling the now normal, this is our way of life. This is how we've been living. We have been online, this whole time. We have been the guys trying to push people to come online. One thing I've seen, though, is that, we have had so many clients come to us now and say, look, how do I jump in? How do I plug in? And so we do, these kind of webinars. Every Monday we have them going on. I think Wendy, we just speak more about that as well as we close. But just, we are trying to just see how can we add as much value as we want to our clients, and just see how can we help them be a part of, what life is heading towards. You can be sure that with or without COVID-19, life was moving in this direction, and it's still going to move. So just I want to encourage you to just check this out. Go online. Think of how you can transition. Again, this new normal is happening. It's happening. It's here, and we've been living in this for a long while. We create and innovate. This is what we do for a living. Thank you so much for plugging in. I want to go back to Wendy to lead us through a question and answer session. I don't know if you guys have any questions for us before we close this up. But yeah, thank you for just listening to us. And Wendy, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hello. I'm hoping everyone can see me. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we don't really have a lot of questions, actually. I think everyone's pretty up to speed. But I'm just looking through to see if, right, okay. This question is actually for Dixon. Is Dolphin Fund a VC model or more like a crowdfunding platform? That is, do donors gain equity? Are they repaid with interest as in peer-to-peer loans, or are they clean donations from well-wishers?
Okay, thank you so much. Dolphin Fund is purely donations. It's from well wishers and friends who feel emotionally attached to your cause and want to move the journey with you, with no expectation of anything. Some even up to donate anonymously. So it's for well wishers who want to walk the journey with you.
Okay, thank you. So we have another question. What is your take? And I think Neil or Dixon can answer this question. What is your take about B2B, like selling services online, which need more interaction and pitching with clients than others, which are B2C oriented?
I beg your pardon?
It says, what is your take about B2B, like selling services online, which need more interaction and pitching with clients than others, which are B2C oriented?
I thank you. I can start maybe near with near will add. You know, I believe and know that we've all been used to the past of doing things. Recently, we just got a business of developing a portal. We missed our first meeting. We missed our first meeting because the president had just announced the lockdown. Everyone shut down. Was supposed to go about 5 kilometers from the CBD to go and present. My team never went to present. So after they add us another days of the lockdown, we all realized we cannot have a physical meeting. What did the client opt? The client opted for a Zoom presentation of a portal. It is a database-driven portal. We want to present on how it's going to look like, and we closed it. So the mindset of a service you must meet and shake hands and and meet physically and hug, it's going away. And the day we realize that is the day the client won't hold you responsible for not going for a meeting, as opposed to a request for a Zoom meeting and a presentation.
Thank you, Dixon. I think, I agree with you in terms of.
Okay, so I think we're gonna move on to another question and then come back to Neil. Or Neil, are you here? Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry, carry on.
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah, no, so I was saying that I agree with Dixon. So typically, Wave as well is essentially B2B, So one thing you must know is that, business has to continue. So as a B2B business, especially selling services, it's based a lot on interaction, right? So communication is key. Of course, you have to, use a hybrid of the available platforms, be it Zoom, be it Teams, and take initiative in terms of just the meetings and the presentations online. Photos also are key. Emails have also, done a lot of magic for us. But what I've just, decide as someone who's to be is that you must create that culture in your team as well, but also with your clients, just to guide them, because many of the clients we have in this part of the world really have to be taken on that journey. So begin to interest them and begin to teach them these things. Begin to teach them how to go on Zoom calls. Teach them how to do presentations. And spearhead that. Think about how you can create, again, move your service to online, whatever you're offering. As you can see, Flutterwave stores as well was something which was in our minds, but we had to fast track it because we want more value in this period. So as someone selling a service, how much more value are you, especially in this period, and how can people benefit from that value? And once we understand that, you're good to go, I believe.
Okay, great. Thank you, Neil. The next question is, with banks, this is for Neil, with banks and government organizations like URA, URSB, etc., hard to get to or even not in operation, how does one quickly integrate Flutterwave to their platform, given that some essential documents are required upon signing up?
Thank you. Yeah, so obviously, the KYB, KYC, it changes depending on who we're signing up today. Today we are, of course, working with, with several banks and with several government bodies. That takes a bit longer. What we normally do in those scenarios is we, first of all, we'll do like a non-disclosure agreement, which enables us to come and check out our technology, do some demo integrations as we go through the process of doing the KYC. As you can imagine, for a body like a bank, even the URL or USB, as you can imagine, the level of getting all these documents may not be as simple as maybe Dixon, who has the house or in his office. And so we'll do like a non-disclosure, and then we begin to do the integration and test out, work on a few products. And once we're sure we know the right direction, we can then begin to pursue that process of all the documentation and approvals needed. But first we begin with an NDA, and as we begin that process. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm gonna ask. The first question is asking, and I'm just going to straight answer that because I know this already. Is Flutterwave currently able to integrate with Shopify payments? The answer is yes, but I want Neil to go into a little bit more detail.
Wendy, you can go in that detail, but I'll be your guest. So yeah, so one of the things that brings us, ahead of everyone in this space is our technology. What I didn't tell you is that Flutterwave is really passionate about technology. I know I spoke about innovation, but specifically technology, like and my background, and this is not biased. This is a really pure, straight up answer, no bias at all. I know I work at Flutterwave, but I've been around this space for more than a decade, and I can tell you straight up, the tech team we have at Flutterwave is ahead of every other tech team in this space. And because of that, we've gone and built most of the plugins you would need to connect to other platforms. So Shopify, WordPress, of course, WooCommerce, WordPress itself plugins. We even have plugins that go into QuickBooks, Sage. So what we do is, being developers, we understood that the issue, not only in Africa, but also for developers, was to integrate the platform. And for someone like Dixon today to tell you that he was able to roll out a product, Dolphin Fund, and integrate Flutterwave and roll it out within the lockdown, that's less than a space of maybe less than 20 days. I know his platform has been live for more than 10 days. So ideally, it shows that we not only throw you the platform, but we go ahead a step and say, look, how else can we make life easier? And our team has been is ex PayPal. They've been in Google Pay. They've worked in the top payments companies in the world, and now they're here building Flutterwave. So, best whoever, you can go to our online on Flutterwave.com as well. We have a place where we have the plugins and the documentation. And I can share the link as well in the chat right now, so that you guys can see, the kind of robust integrations that we support as Flutterwave. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. So someone is asking, I'd like to make an online bookstore with a pay download mode. How can I go about that? So I'm going to answer that question. We have gotten a few requests for this. We created Flutterwave Store as a response to COVID. It was something that we're working on, but we obviously fast-tracked it, as Neil said. So we've gotten a few requests. People want to be able to sell digital goods. You want to sell your ebooks, you want to sell stuff like that, and you want people to be able to download it once they make payments. This is an update that is coming with the new update to Flutterwave Store. It's something that we can do right now. We are not able to do it right now, but there is a workaround if you want to go that route. But also, we're making it possible for people to be able to make payments and then download digital goods, which also means obviously there's no need for the delivery option as well. I'm gonna go over the last question. Neil, do you want to answer this? This is going to be our last question. I don't understand the 3.2% processing fee. Where does the percentage apply?
Right. So that's a good question. That is my question, Wendy, for sure. So yeah, so we have different fees. Again, one thing to note, the first key thing to note is that we don't charge anything for it to sign up on Flutterwave, right? The vision behind this is we don't want to collect any money from you before you have business, right? And so we didn't think it wise to charge you money before you even have one transaction. And so our model is that we charge fees per transaction, right? So when someone is paying you today, say 10,000 shillings, depending on how they're paying you, either via mobile money or Visa, we charge a percentage of that fee. So two things to note there. One is that the 3.2% would apply to the cards. So if someone is using a Visa card, any local bank card in Uganda, they're paying 3.2%. So what that means is that when they're paying you 10,000 shillings, the charge is 320 shillings, right? Ideally, what happens is you can either choose to incur that cost, which means that when someone pays you 10,000, you can say, okay, let them pay me 10,000, and then you guys will take your 320 off, and then me, I'll receive approximately, 880, something like that, right? Or you can say that let the customer pay the fee. So in that case, the customer would pay 10,000 plus 320, which would be 10,320, and you're getting your flat fee of 10,000. So the charge is paid by the customer. So you can choose either to bear the cost or to pass on the customer. What I can tell you though is that, again, so mobile money is 2.65% of transaction fees. That 2.65 includes also telecom fees, right? So there's no other extra fee that the telecom will charge you. So if you're paying 10,000 via mobile money, it will be 10,000 plus 65 shillings, including also mobile money's fees. So it's one all-inclusive fee. Sometimes I get the question of why is the fee, 3.2 and not 1% and not 2% or whatever it is. We do this business, of course, in partnership with the provider. So today we're giving this service as an extension of MTN mobile money. So there's a fee there that mobile money has to take off. And then Flutterwave's fee would be maybe like 0.5 or 0.8%, but it's really small. So we try to make it as affordable as possible. But again, this is all you will ever pay as a client, as a merchant of Flutterwave.
Great, thank you, Neil. Okay, let me do one more question because we're right on. Someone is asking that he's working on his e-commerce project and he's torn between using Shopify and building his own e-commerce website. I have a question for you, Joseph. What is the products that you're going to be selling on this e-commerce platform? If you can just type that in the chat function, you may actually benefit from using Flutterwave stores. It's beauty products, right? So you may benefit from using Flutterwave store, but it would depend on the experience you're trying to build for your customer. Flutterwave store obviously has payments, deliveries, and e-commerce all built into one product, which means that you don't have to think about all the million and one things that come with e-commerce. So I would say that you should use Flutterwave store for this purpose. Okay, so I think that we are now at the end of our webinar. Like I said before, we will be sending out this information via email to everyone who registered. We're also going to be sending out some helpful links on getting started on Flutterwave and Flutterwave store. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want updates on our products and what we're doing, you can follow us on social media. Our handle is @theflutterwave on Twitter and on Instagram. For more information, please visit flutterwave.com. Oh, we just got one question. This question says, suppose one had an LMS where courses are sold and he or she wants to automate the revenue and payments in such a way that maybe him or her, as the owner, he takes 10% and 9% goes to the course creator. I guess the question is like, do we have a system that basically sends the money directly to the course creator and then takes you take your own payments from it? Yes, it's something that we can do. You can reach out to us, or you can reach out directly to Neil, and we can get started on that. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Dixon, for speaking with us today. This was really insightful and really helpful. We appreciate you guys for joining us. And like I said, we're sending the information via email to you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.